Hola! Today's video is a pretty controversial one in my country, but I'm just gonna go for it. Why I hate professional sports. In the country that I live in, $500 million was spent on the Rugby World Cup. This money came from other places, other budgets. I wonder where. You guessed it! The health and education budgets. So the rest of this video is a very brief explanation of why I loathe professional sports. Okay, so disclaimer, I don't hate all sports. I find some mildly skillful and entertaining, such as gymnastics, which is the only sport I am currently exempting from this talk. But today I shall be focusing on the sports that I really detest, such as rugby. Rugby is my enemy. I don't think any other sport makes me quite as angry. And here is all you need to know about rugby. People get paid thousands and thousands of dollars to run into one another after a ball. Now, my country is a particularly strong supporter of rugby, and by that I mean it's the only sport most guys play. In winter you have rugby, and in summer you have touch rugby. And for that reason, lots of people defend the sport's prowess, but frankly, I'm not seeing it, and I have not seen it for about 15 years. So not only does the sport require very little tactical skill, but it's a game of brute force. People claim that it teaches things like endurance. Go run a fucking long distance run. Go do marathons instead of bashing someone's teeth out with your shoulders. My country took $500 million away from the dying, the sick, the children, and the next generation to build stadiums with roofs, to hold an audience watching grown men throw themselves into one another over a barely visible grey oval. Okay, to contrast that, let's look at a sport I admire. Let's take soccer, in which you have to direct a moving object at quite a high velocity around many obstacles using basically only your feet, and there's lots of other people trying to stop you. I prefer this sport fundamentally, if only for one reason. You're not supposed to hurt other people! Let alone shove your hand up their arse on many occasions, and yes, that does happen in rugby. And anyone who says it doesn't is lying or hasn't seen it. However, let's look at soccer players' paychecks. The top three salaries belong to Beckham, Ronaldo, and Messi. I hope that's how you say his name. All these players earn upwards of $38 million. Million. 38 million. So, do you understand that these men who kick balls around earn more than my mother, who saves lives every day, more than my teachers who ensure that so many people have the skills to go, further in life, more than people who make sure criminals that, rape small children are sent to prison? And it's not even by a marginal difference. It's literally millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars that mean health professionals get 4 hours sleep a day to work 12-hour shifts while they try and save lives. It means that some children will never get the help they need because teachers don't have enough to even support their own children. Last year, I had almost 2 weeks of school because my teachers had to protest to get better pay. I could go on and on for hours, but really I think I have made my point. I don't hate sport. I think sport is good. It builds relationships and good morals. However, professional sports strips away all those things and brings it down to a money basis. It turns it into an industry rather than something you do because you enjoy it. There is nothing professional about playing a game very well. If there was, why am I not getting paid for playing The Sims and Tiny Tower? And people are like, oh, that's just ridiculous. They're just games. So is kicking a ball at some poles. Or hitting a ball with a racket. Or throwing a ball. Or punching the crap out of another person. We are spending billions of dollars on balls and baskets when we could have literally bought years of human knowledge. Millions of kids' school year was disrupted by a fucking sports game. I wouldn't know. I was one of them. There is not enough funding to supply kids with learning difficulties with the exam conditions they need. $500 million that could have helped get us closer to working out how to stop cancer. $500 million that could have been used to upgrade teaching and learning facilities. $39 million. Messi earns $39 million that could have been spent on paying off a country's debt. $42 million belonging to Ronaldo that could have been spent on training doctors, lawyers and midwives and all other kinds of health professionals, surgeons, GPs, even the goddamn trainees. $46 million earned by David Beckham that might have brought someone's loved one back from the brink of death. Maybe I'm a naive little white girl, but I would rather see my friends supported, my world healthy, and my healthcare in good, well-slept hands than watch people play with inanimate objects. Guess I'm a dreamer.